This is a very unusual apple, maroon coloured. It's a Ladies Finger type of apple, very long, very elongated, and it can grow very, very large, and it stays on the tree into January. Now, in the early 80s, I was a member of the Henry Doubleday Organic Gardening Organisation. I'm still a member of Gardening Organic.
Yeah.
There was a chap called Albert Harris advertised apples, which he called Ladies Finger of Lancashire. And he said if anybody wanted one, he'd bring one up. He grafted from very old trees in the village of Bledington, and he said that these apples were dying out. They were distinctive looking apples that were dying out in the 1950s, and that's when he was grafting them. So I was intrigued, and I actually met Albert on Poulton Le Fylde railway station in the early 80s, mid-80s, and I had with me a Hargreaves Greensweet, which I gave to him, and he had a sheaf of Ladies Fingers of Lancashire with him. He was on his way up to Carlisle. He'd got clients all over the north of England wanting one. My tree was planted, eventually it bore fruit, and one of the first apple days in the north of England was at Harlow Carr, Harrogate, the RHS. It wasn't the RHS in those days, but the Northern Fruit Group met there, and I brought with me my Ladies Finger of Lancashire apples, and there was a huge display of apples there during the apple day, and they had Ladies Finger of Lancashire in a bowl. It was nothing like this one at all. So eventually I wrote to Albert, and Albert had actually left Bledington. He lived in Milton Keynes, and he in turn wrote to Wisley, where there's a large collection of trees, to say that he didn't think that his apple was Ladies Finger of Lancashire, because originally he'd sent the apples in to Wisley, and that's what they identified them as. So they agreed it wasn't Ladies Finger of Lancashire, and it was given the name Ladies Finger of Bledington after the village where Albert had found them and saved them. There's a sort of sequel to this story. 3 or 4 years ago, I was in communication with a chap called Derek Tolman, who runs Burnwood Nurseries down in Hertfordshire. I think it's Hertfordshire. And he is a fanatic. He actually gets hold of apples from countries like America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, apples which may have been taken out by early settlers from this country, which are still found there but are extinct over here. And he eventually sent me some Ladies Finger of Bledington apples, which I think he got from Oregon State University, where there's a big repository. And they were known not as Ladies Finger of Bledington, but as Black Gillyflower. And Black Gillyflower can be traced back to the Pilgrim Fathers, and Derek thinks that they were taken out in the 1600s by the early settlers to America. So that's the story of Ladies Finger of Bledington, and of course that got me hooked further.